What is a superpower? Chen Mo smiled faintly. I was just thinking, this spiritual interference. Do you really need to understand? Although this ability is not strong, but can always play a significant role at critical moments, it took me several years to truly uncover its mysteries. It's hard to say if other abilities remain silent, but when it comes to mental interference, I am quite familiar with it. Zheng Qingwen directly exploded in anger. Glaring in anger, he remained silent. Do you really understand it? I am an B-level superpowered individual. He smiled silently, not caring. In the future, Jin began to be commonly used to awaken the extraordinary abilities of ordinary people. B-level supernatural beings are really not worth much at all. At least it has to be an A-level ability. Liao Ruyu glanced at the silence. To be honest, he still doesn't understand what level of ability silence is for several generations of ability users. The level of supernatural beings is confirmed by the military district. Given the power displayed in effortlessly slaying the decomposer before silence, the power of silence can never be lower than grade A. Liao Ruyu, Chen Tian, why don't you introduce your special ability as well? Everyone present turned to look at the silence. Silence softly said, Gigi, this is my superpower. Gigi, everyone present except Liao Ruyu was somewhat puzzled. Liao Ruyu looked at Chen Mo in surprise. Didn't he say before that he can control metal? Silence pulled out the ghost blade. With a gentle sweep, tear it apart. The ground beneath was suddenly torn apart by Gui Kai, creating a long crack. Upon witnessing this scene, Wang Heaming and Zheng Qing both had their pupils constrict. Some things are unbelievable. Unhappily looking at that pitch-black katana. This knife can easily slice through the ground. How sharp it must be. Zhu Zimo stared intently at the silence, constantly sizing him up. Although I am just a mere capable person, but for some reason, insight tells oneself, in the presence, this person is the most dangerous. A terrifying killing intent filled the air. Absolutely not simple. Zhu Zimo thought to himself. Wang Heaming re-examined the silence. Such a sharp blade, Zheng Qing said casually. HMPH, it's just that the weapons are a bit more powerful. Do you consider yourself capable? Guo Zhao, silent with a calm expression, with a gentle wave of the ghostly blade in hand. Bump! A drop of incredibly sharp black liquid suddenly shot out from the ghost-cutting blade. It passed directly by Zheng Qing's ear. A few strands of blue silk dance. The wall behind Zheng Qing was unexpectedly broken through, creating a hole. Zheng Qing was lost in thought for several seconds. Then she came to her senses and screamed. Glaring in silence, he reprimanded sharply. You! How dare you lay a hand on me? The people present were also stunned. Rao is as beautiful as jade. I never expected silence to take action. The silent eyes narrowed slightly. The gaze was unfriendly as it scrutinized Zheng Qing. Shut your mouth. Otherwise, next time it will be your life. Zheng Qingqiao's face turned pale, became pale and lifeless, feeling the killing intent in the silence. Suddenly felt that the other person was lying. For a moment, they were speechless. Silently sneered. Liao Ruyu saw Zheng Qing, who was previously so arrogant. At this moment, it is surprisingly quiet. I couldn't help but give a thumbs up to the silence. Bright, beautiful eyes. As expected, it's useless to say anything more to someone like him. Silence is much more straightforward. Wang Heaming hurried over to Zheng Qing to comfort her. After all, they are from the same place. Liao Ruyu cleared her throat. When the scene quieted down, he began to speak. All right, Chen Tian didn't do it on purpose. Wang Haoming, since you are from the military district, it seems that they are quite familiar with that monstrous creature. Go ahead and speak." Wang Haoming nodded. After pondering for a while, stepped forward. "The monster is preliminarily estimated to have abilities equivalent to a Tier 3 enhancer. The biting force is extremely strong. Ordinary bullets cannot break through his defenses at all. But in his abdomen, with the wounds inflicted by my military district before, you can start from here. There is one more thing. That monster has two abilities to watch out for. Death roll absolutely cannot face it head on. If the monster suffers too much harm, then it would suddenly dive underground or escape into the water, no matter how hard to seek. Previously, our military district allowed him to escape like this." Liao Ruyu's palms were slightly sweaty. Whispered, "In that case, so this operation, I am the main force. Wang Haoming and Chen Tian are responsible for killing that monster. Xiao Zhu, your ability is insight. Keep an eye on the movements of that monstrous creature for us." Zheng King frowned. He opened his mouth and said, "What about me?" Liao Ruyu smiled at him brightly. "Bio, act freely. Don't cause trouble for yourself and others. That's not bad. This guy with a princess complex, he is too lazy to serve." Zheng King was anxious. "But when I saw the silence beside me, it won't flare up again. To know the ability to disrupt one's own spirit. But very strong. Even zombies can be controlled. Although he has never seen the monster. But I just don't believe I can't influence the other person." A few people formed a temporary team. They discussed until noon. After replenishing energy, heading towards the direction of the North China Steel Factory. The route to the steel factory, it has been a long time since anyone has cleared out the zombies that exist there. Moreover, everywhere there are collapsed buildings. The vehicles simply cannot travel smoothly all the way. Several people set out on the road with supplies. Zheng King, walking at the back, looked discontentedly at the silent Chen and Liao Ruyu in front. In the military district, he had never been bullied like this before. The little face was extremely gloomy the whole way. Her brows have never relaxed. Damn it, this bastard. You dare to lay a hand on me? Isn't it just a broken knife? What's so amazing about it?" Wang Haoming's ears began to perk up. He looked at Zheng King, who had a foolish expression on his face. Couldn't help but speak to comfort. "All right, Xiao King, let's stick to the point. Our task now is to help Longbang Group reclaim that steel mill. I see the look on Gaoju's face. It seems they really want this steel factory." Zheng King said with a face full of dissatisfaction. "Why not just take it directly? We are requisitioning. Do we really have to watch their expressions?" In his memory, whether before the apocalypse or after it, Longang couldn't resist either. Wang Haoming was a bit speechless. Even he knows that during this period, using force to impose harmful and useless measures is not advisable. But Zheng King did not know. Sigh. "All right, let's go back. Don't fall behind. Now we begin. Always be vigilant of your surroundings. Xiao King, your perception is quite sharp. Never let a moment of anger ruin something important. If this performance is good, your status in the eyes of the military command will become even closer. Wang Haoming certainly has quite a bit of ambition." The one at the front silently gazes at the path ahead. From afar, one could clearly see the zombies wandering at the intersection ahead. At this moment, Du Zimo said cautiously, "Be careful. There are more than 70 zombies directly ahead. There are quite a few even at the second level. And there are not just some, is there? There are still a few lion birds. Zima watched the griffin soaring in the sky in the distance.